Let's talk about how to evaluate expressions using the online calculator Desmos. Alright, so here we are at Desmos.com. That's Desmos.com. So what I'm going to show you guys is how to evaluate an expression in this calculator. So the first thing you want to do is click Start Graphing. Alright, it's going to bring up this window. So what Desmos has is it's basically a graphing calculator online. You have the graph window here and you have your input over here. Okay, we're not going to be using the graph side right now. We're just going to be focusing on the input. We will eventually get into how to use this to graph, but for today we're just going to be talking about the input side. So you can use this as a basic calculator doing, any sort of operation, typing in 2 plus 5 and it'll give you the answer right here in the little corner. But what we want to do is we want to tell this calculator what to plug in for what variables, right? So in the first example that I did in the previous video, you'll notice that it was 5x minus 2y. All right, and if you hit enter on that, obviously it doesn't do anything. It comes up with a yellow exclamation point right here. Okay, that's because it doesn't know what you're asking it to do. It's actually trying to graph it, but since it doesn't have an equal sign, it can't do that either. All right, so what we actually need to do is we actually need to tell this calculator what x and y are. All right, so what you need to tell the calculator, all right, I'm going to exit these, get rid of them. If you click that X, it gets rid of them. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the calculator that x equals 2, hit enter, and that y equals 4, and hit enter. Okay, and it creates this slider. All right, we're not going to mess with that right now, but this is a way that you can change the value of what you set as x. But I set it as 2, so I'm just going to leave it there for right now. Underneath those, you can go ahead and type in 5x minus 2y and hit enter. But again, nothing happens. And that's because Desmos actually reserves the letters x and y as graphing variables, not variables that you use to evaluate. It only applies to x and y. It does not apply to anything else. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to come back up here to x, and right after that x, in between the x and the equal sign, I'm going to hit 1. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing for y. I'm going to put a little 1 right after the y. And then down here in this equation editor, I'm going to put a 1 after the x and a 1 after the y and hit enter. And then it actually goes ahead and evaluates it. Okay? If I had used different variables like a is 2 and b is 4, okay? The exact same problem, 5a minus 2b, you'll notice that it actually goes ahead and does it without having to have those little ones. That's because, again, the Desmos reserves the variables x and y for graphing, not for evaluating. So if you're going to use x and y, make sure you put a little 1 right there afterwards, okay? So you can use this for as many variables as you want, all right? So in our second example in the previous video, okay, I'm just going to exit out all of these. We use that x was -3, and remember, if I'm going to use x, I need to put a little 1 right there after it, okay? Y, I got to put a little 1. We said was 5, all right? And z, I'll just go ahead and put a 1 there. We said was +3, okay? Don't forget the 1 after it, divided by z, and I'm going to put the 1 there. Now, if I keep typing times y, it actually puts it over here underneath the fraction right next to the z. We don't want it there, so I'm going to delete that, and I'm actually going to hit the right arrow so that way I go to the right of the fraction. So that way I can hit times y, and then the rest of it is exactly what it said. Minus x, don't forget the 1's right after it, plus 2y, and then put the 1 there. Whoops. Put the 1 there, hit enter, and there is your answer. If this video did help you, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.